Who's ready to hear some terrible advice? Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Emma Cownley. I'm a freelance copywriter and I come here every 2 weeks to give you a cornucopia of information about copywriting and writing in general. And this week I'm going to be telling you some of the worst advice I've ever been given as a freelancer and why it was so shit and why you should probably not follow that advice. If you're a regular watcher of these videos, you might notice something a little bit different. For example, I've managed to light my own face without making my head look like a giant thumb, so I think we can all drink to that. I'm going to start by prefacing this video and just saying that if you have followed any of the advice in this video or currently do any of the things that I mentioned in this video and it works for you and you're happy with it and you wouldn't change it for the world, then bro, you do you. That's absolutely fine. If it works for you, keep on doing it. I'm only giving you advice that I've been told that really has not worked for me personally and just some rationale of why that was. So take it with a grain of salt really. If you hear a piece of advice in here that you think, holy fuck, I do that, but it's fine, then it's fine. It's fine. We're all free to do things differently. This is just me sharing my experience. If you do any of these things and it's worked out particularly well for you, leave a comment below and share your experiences and perhaps maybe like how that's worked for you, and you know, maybe you can, I don't want to say change my opinion, but maybe you can educate me. It'll be really cool. So yeah, leave a comment below, and if you've got any of your own to add, same, sling it below and let's chat. The first piece of advice that I was given very early on in my freelance career, I tried to live by this and ended up being really unhappy, and that is, you have to take every job that comes your way. Working on a theme of being desperate for every job that comes your way, you're more likely to accept a lower fee or a little bit more abuse than you normally would because you're operating in a system of fear, really, and that's how I felt. You're also more likely to have an off-kilter work-life balance. If you're accepting any and every job that you're given, you're not structuring your day and scheduling your time properly because you're just cramming everything in rather than saying to someone, look, I can't take this right now, can I refer you to someone else? Are you happy to wait? My schedule is full. And taking that risk that they're happy to wait or that they will come back, rather than panicking and just accepting everything straight away and doing your darndest to fit every job in. I'm working late, I'm working lunches, I'm working weekends and never taking holidays. That's more likely how you're going to end up if you operate on the thesis of taking every job that comes your way. It also doesn't do to work like that because, for example, if you're trying to niche down as a writer and establish your own writing niche, it's highly likely you'll be approached by clients outside of that niche. And if you're just accepting any and every job, you're not kind of getting to work on the things you really love or with the clients you really love, and your portfolio is going to end up as a mishmash, and you're less likely to dedicate time to pitching to and working for the clients that you really want because you're too preoccupied with accepting just everything that comes to you. So if you're interested in being a niche writer and establishing yourself within a niche, accepting any and every job is not going to be great advice for you. Also, on a tangent to that, is that accepting every job that comes your way is not going to be great for your job satisfaction because you may not like every job that you get given. If someone comes to me with a job that I'm really not feeling, I reserve the right to tell them, hey, you know what, I don't think this is for me, I'm not passionate about the work or the brand or the project, let me refer you to somebody else that I know that's going to do a slamming job and is going to be excited about this, because I'm just not. And if I'm not excited about it, it's going to reflect in the work. Try hard as I might to be professional and kind of do a good job. Of course, I'll always try to, but if I don't really want to work on it, it will reflect in the quality of the work and it won't be fun to do it and it's going to hurt my job satisfaction. So again, not that disco. I think the foundation of this piece of advice is to help mitigate quiet spells and dry patches. So if you're getting tons and tons of work in on a particular month, you must take every job that you get given, because you don't know when the next quiet spell is going to hit, and you need to carry on through and be able to pay yourself and survive financially through that dry spell, because you've loaded up, you've basically made hay while the sun was shining. And yeah, I can totally understand that. But if you are charging really, really good rates and you are trying to get your best long-term high quality clients on retainer, you're more likely to have a stable income month on month, because you've got those retainers, you know exactly how much you're going to start the month on and where the extra jobs need to come in, so you don't have that kind of desperation of desperately accepting every job, because you know you're going to have that work on a rolling monthly basis. Next piece of terrible freelance advice is that content mills and bidding sites are an easy, reliable way to make money when you're freelance. This is a horrible piece of advice, and again, I fell for it in the early days, and it took me exactly 3 months to realise that was never going to work for me. For those of you that don't know, content mills and bidding sites are websites like Upwork, Freelancer, Copify, anything like that, that you bid for work and you get paid, kind of like all the clients are there putting their pitches out, and you bid for all the different work. And basically, as the name suggests, bidding site, content mill, it is like slave labour basically. The money is not great, the clients are not great, and you end up working a shit ton of hours for very little money, and it's not a sustainable way to run a business. You need to be working with high quality clients that pay you what you're worth, and then you can work less and earn more, rather than working stupid hours for hardly any money. And it is like pulling teeth for a writer. In fact, one of my first ever freelance clients was from one of these bidding sites. I think it was on Upwork. I was still employed full-time at this point, and I was trying to garry up a freelance career on the side, so that when I launched into it, I'd have something there to start with, rather than starting from scratch. And the very first client I got came from there. He was an absolute nightmare to deal with from day one, and because I was new, I didn't know any better. And he tried to not pay me for the work I did, and the work was really boring, so you better believe I was aggressive about getting my money for that, because such a boring job. I need compensation. Long story short, content mills and bidding sites are not a foundation for a profitable business. It's bad for work-life balance. It's not sustainable long term. It'll really hurt your job satisfaction. They make you feel like you're not worth anything. And you really are. I don't even know you, but I know you're worth more than that fucking bullshit. Terrible advice number 3. The best way to win clients is to give free samples. In my experience, only the most awful clients want free samples, not the good ones. Anyone that you want to be dealing with long term wants to pay you for your time, because they know the true value of good content. It's easy to get suckered into doing a trial piece for free. In fact, this very topic came up on Twitter the other day. Freelance writers commiserating over being asked for free samples, and really the best reply to this is that your portfolio should be more than enough for them to determine whether or not you're going to be a good fit for the project, and if it isn't, well then, by gum, they can just jog on. The reason free samples aren't that awesome is because it encourages clients to ask you for things for free. Also, your time is money. Free samples can take anything up to half a day or a day to craft and get exactly right, because you really, really want that work. You're not going to be able to stop yourself from putting real hard graft into that. And I don't know about you, but a day's wage, that's significant. I can't give that away for free when I have plenty of clients on my books who will pay me for that time. It's not worth it. Moral of the story, never work for free. Terrible freelance advice number 4. You need to have a writing niche in order to make a good living as a copywriter. This is a slightly controversial piece of bad advice because it can really, you've got arguments for and against. I've made a video for it, which I'll link up there. But really, I don't think it's strictly true. I myself don't have a defined niche. I have a very profitable business and I don't necessarily have a niche, and I know plenty of writers in the UK that have very good businesses and they also do not have writing niches. So to say that you'll never be really profitable if you don't have one, well, it's not really true. What is true to say is that marketing your business is so much easier if you do have a niche, as is generating leads without even trying. If you've optimized your LinkedIn page and your website and your social accounts to say that you have a specific speciality, you're more likely to get work without trying. And also you're more likely to build a much stronger portfolio because it's all targeted at one specific type of customer and it just generates on its own. So it's easier to market yourself and easier to get profitable if you have a speciality, but you don't have to have one to get good business. If you like to just work on everything, keep fucking working on everything. You don't need to niche right down in order to be profitable. It's just quite helpful to do that, especially if you know what you like and if you don't want to have to try very hard to get business. There we go. 4 terrible pieces of freelance advice that I have been given throughout my career. If you've got any terrible advice of your own that you've been given that you would like to share, you can pop it in a comment below. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you do any of these things and they really work for you, leave a comment as well and let everybody know how you've hacked that, I guess, to make it work for you. I sure as hell would like to know. So yeah, leave a comment. You can find me on Twitter at @EJCownley if you'd like to request a video, ask a question, or just chat and confab. That's where I like to hang out most times. And until then, I'll see you back here in 2 weeks, same time, same place, for more Kiss My A's. Take care. Peace out.